Okay, so would this be real life if I didn't somehow mess that up? Okay, so let's try this again. I have Gretchen Clark coming on. I cannot wait for her to share her amazing energy with you guys. So let me try this again and try to get her on here. Lord have mercy. There we go. And there she is. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That is, I don't think I can hear you. Can I hear you? Let's see. Turn you up. There you are. Okay,
Can you hear me?
perfect. Yes, I can. Oh my gosh.
I'm like technologically really bad at everything. So,
Well, obviously I am as well. I couldn't even get you on here, so but here we are. It's exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. Literally, I'm so grateful that you're taking this time with me. You're Miss World Traveler. You're literally like in London or Jamaica or like somewhere in the world. So I don't even know where you are right now, but I'm super stoked to have you on this Instagram Live with me.
oh, honored that you asked. I'm actually at home in my house and I feel like somewhat settled, but there's just boxes all around me at all times.
Well, that's just what you do. That's what you do. So there are going to be a few people that aren't going to know who you are. Literally, probably three out of the many people that are going to turn into this. So, as a little kind of recap on who you are and what I completely adore about you, you are someone that I feel like doesn't matter the person, what level they are, who they are, what walk of life they are, they find a way to connect with you. Like you have a skill to connect with so many people. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before. You're like a 12 out of 10. And everyone just like, I mean, people that you've never even met that I know that are kind of in my circle, like, oh my God, did you see what Gretchen just put on the other day? Or did you just see this? Or did you listen to her podcast? Like, it's incredible at your reach of people. So your level of success is not surprising at all, honestly. Um, you just seem to have like figured out success and made it look fun and easy. And that's what I think is just so incredible as well. You know, we all know success isn't easy, but you make it look fun and easy. There's not a lot of people that see behind the scenes and like the stepping stones of how you got to where you are, right? All the lessons that you had to learn, the hard ones, the good ones, you know, kind of everything in between. It's just that you are truly one of a kind. You lead by example. I could keep going on and on and on about this and just kind of, you know, boost you up a little bit. But truly, like, you know, I see you and genuinely, I see you as like, you're always the star of the game. All right. But you're also on the sidelines cheering everyone on because you truly want to see everyone else succeed. And I sent you this today, but it's true. Like when you want other people to succeed, you succeed yourself. And it's like you have figured that out genuinely and with your full heart. And I just appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
Of
I
course.
think one of the greatest lessons, and thank you so much for saying that. That's so kind. I like don't know if it's the wine or maybe my thing just said weirdness. You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Yeah.
One of the greatest lessons I think I've ever learned is that I'm a big believer in the universe, right? And that the universe rewards people for their behaviors, good and bad. I feel like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is always watching. And I am just a huge believer that the universe can see like inside of you. And that I'm a very emotional person, so I cry all the time. So if I cry, it's just normal. But the universe sees if you are like a genuine person or not. They see if what you're doing is fake. They see if what you're doing is just a facade. And my belief is like if you are truly genuinely happy for other people or you're really excited for someone. I think my best friend Brandy is probably on this. You know her. I remember being at her wedding and I was so single and I was, 30 years old and my best friend was getting married, already has a perfect baby boy, like now has another one. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I could have been this way where I was like, I'm not there yet. That's not me. Like, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. But I was so genuinely happy for her. And I was like, her family, like my whole entire being in that moment was just so happy for her. And I feel like the universe sees that and then my perfect person in my life a couple months later. You know what I mean? So with anything, life, relationships, success, I just truly believe that the universe rewards very genuine people. So as that sounds, I selfishly try to be as genuine and authentic and happy for other people because I know that the universe will reward me. And I know that that's kind of selfish when you think about it that way. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. So I know that I can't, we have givers gain, and that's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like giver. So I heard that today and immediately thought about you. I was just listening to a podcast. It was with Bob Proctor, and he's like 117 years old, like he's old as dirt, was so wise. And he was like givers gain, and he was saying that basically the power of generosity, just like what you said. If you know what you're doing and you're giving with all your heart, like you're bound in turn to be successful. Like that is the epitome of, or I guess is that even the right word, but it's the core basic of success.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like the same, they say that at church, right? To like give, what do they say? Like give 10% of your income. I think charity, but I believe that there is so much. People, I feel like, think of generosity and they immediately think of money and they think of giving like something that is monetary. And I think that people have so much to give that is like inside of them, like having a deep, meaningful conversation with someone one-on-one, actually listening to someone. That sort of thing is so giving and so generous. I think that that's really powerful.
Well, and it's every part of your business. I mean, you're either doing giveaways. If you're not doing giveaways, you literally, like you just said, it could be monetary, or you're giving away your time, like you are tonight to me, and to hopefully everyone here is like able to do takeaways here. There are so many different ways that you can give, and I love that you just spoke about that. What do you think is like the biggest process, I guess, or the most important process about success? Like, what do you think is that the
Oops, sorry. The biggest process to success, you said?
like what's the most important part, I guess, of success, so the most important process of success?
That's a really good question. So I think that I wake up and I put my feet on the ground every morning because I have everyone talks about their why. I'm a big talk in a circle person. I'll land the plane in a second. I'm a big believer in your why, right? Like I have very strong whys. They are very deep rooted. They have to do with my dad, and I can't talk about them because they make me cry. But like there is such a deep, powerful why I do things every single day that almost nothing can stop me. You know what I mean? So I talked about this on my podcast once, but like I have a deep why. I have a deep want to retire my dad, let him live a life that he wants to live. Like, and that is a monetary value, right? But when I put my feet on the ground every day, I also think about my future family, and I think about all those people that I can build legacies for. And a lot of people say to me, hey, how do you not care what people think? Because I truly think that that is my superpower, is that I do not care what people think negatively. You know what I mean? I can't be fazed by that because I'm always thinking about what if I let some ding dong, no offense, say something to me, and then I go to my dad and he's still working when he's 75 years old. I'm like, hey, Dad, sorry, I could never retire you. I had the avenue to, I had the vehicle to retire you, but I couldn't and didn't because I let this ding dong affect what I thought. And I think that about my future children. Hey, I could have given you this life. This is what we could have done. But I let these ding dongs say something about me, to me, that altered the course that I was on. So I think that the biggest thing with success is that nothing is like this. Nothing is a straight shot like this. You're going to see a lot of people on Instagram. You're going to see a lot of people in your business, anything that you compare people to, and it's going to look like this. Like you said in the beginning, you don't see the underneath. You don't see the every single day. You don't see the failures. And I have failed so many times in my life. I have made so many mistakes. I have been a bad person. I have failed at a business. I have done this poorly. You don't necessarily see that, not because I don't want to broadcast it, but because it doesn't affect me. I see I did something bad or I failed at something, but okay, I learn from it and I move on. In my opinion, those are not that I'm the most successful person. Obviously, I'm far freaking from it, but the people who win in life are people who they fail all the time, but they learn from it and they just keep going. Like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Student. I can't even read. I can't write. I can't, but I will outwork any other person in the room. So that was my long-winded answer, right?
I love it. And that is so, it's so genuine. Oh yeah, wine break. I got my wine here, so cheers. Mm. So that is though, so kind of what I heard from you though is having an emotional tie to your why and why you want to be so successful, right? And having that like idea of not even just what it looks like, but why you want to succeed. And it's not just for you, right? It's not for the car, for the house, for whatever. It's for everything else, for everyone else in your life.
Yeah. I think that's so huge. And people talk about like, right? There's a book called Start With Why. There's so many books and everything that you can read. Here's another thing about like self-help books, right? Like you can read all those books in the world. You can read all these podcasts, or listen to all these podcasts and these TED Talks. If you don't actually take action and find it deep within yourself why you want to do something and move forward, you're just reading things to read things. But anyway, having like you said, an emotional tie to what you're doing, that means that like when you feel unmotivated or you don't want to do something, that discipline kicks in to get you closer to that emotional goal. And if your goal is to buy a car, well, there's not enough emotion behind that. So you've got to kind of look inward and find that, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did not too long ago. I was just like, I kind of said, okay, what is just not paying my bills? That's not enough, right? Keep maintaining whatever, eating out or what, that wasn't enough for me to say, okay, I have to get, just like you said, either put myself out there for those rejections, right? I mean, and every sales, that's just what it is. We're all out there seeking the next yes or the next no. But that wasn't enough. So I really had to dig deep and say, okay, what is my why? When we all had a group call that one day and we're like, okay, what is our why? Why do we want to do this? Like I even started crying because I was like, that's where it needs to be. It's not just mine. And the thing that you do as well is that you have a ripple effect. And we have a mutual friend, Rebecca, and I tell her this all the time too. And you guys, because you guys are so much in the same, but you aren't just changing your life and you're not just going to change your dad's life. You have so many girls in your team, women on your team, that you're changing their lives, and not just their lives. You're changing their husbands' lives, their kids' life, and generational. Like it's a ripple effect. And I mean, and it's not to be taken lightly, and you're so humbled by it and you have such a big heart. Again, I could go on all day about your inspiration and how you are literally changing lives like every single day. And I hope that and I know that you understand that and you see that, but it's just incredible to see your heart and your genuine love for that. Yeah, of course.
Sorry, just to say this too, like, because I know you and I were talking about it earlier, like, well, I guess it kind of does go into the success. What did you say, that the process of success? I think what you said, one of the biggest things, I think, when someone asks me any sort of question about my Instagram or whatever it is, it's like, I was with our Nu Skin CEO last week, and he said, in any sort of business, you can either be disrupting or you can be disrupted. Ooh. So when you're thinking about your business, are you disrupting the market or are you getting disrupted? Are you letting all these things come to you, right? It's almost like, are you going to influence or are you going to be influenced? So when I think about my like Instagram, let's take that business, right? I saw a gap in the market. The market was that everyone was the same. Everyone was really filtered in what they looked like and what they said. Everyone was a very cookie cutter. And I said, I'm going to disrupt this market. I think that people need someone who is a just authentic, raw person, right? Doesn't care about their double chin, doesn't care about cellulite, like all these things that I feel like people needed. That's what I wanted to be. And I think it had, like you said, the ripple effect, because there's such a strong power in being your natural, authentic self because it inspires other people to have the confidence to be the same. So, you know, I'd always be looking at Instagram and I'd see these influencers and they were like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, my hair is such a mess. Like, I look terrible. And it's literally what you're saying to all these women that are watching you is you should apologize for how you look. If you don't look 100%, then you should apologize. Or I could, you know, and other people could come in and be like, yo, like, who cares? Like, call it an ugly face. Talk about it all the time. We are all ugly. I'm ugly 90% of the time. Do I think I'm an ugly human? No, I think I'm a straight 6 out of 10 on a good day, and that's good enough for me. Like, but if my goal in life with, or not my goal in life, my goal with my Instagram platform was to make people feel like it was okay to be ugly, right? It was okay to be your authentic, raw self, because that's what we are 90% of the time. And I think we are just so getting disrupted by these people who try to give off like a perfect persona when really they need something that is a little bit more raw. So
Yeah.
I just did that. Right.
Well, and that kind of goes back to that original thing that I was saying. That's why people can relate to you. They're like, okay, I mean, yeah, she's stunning, gorgeous, but you're real about it, like, and that's relatable, and that is what people need to hear. They don't need to hear the, hey, it's success overnight and I just woke up like this. Like, it is not, that is not life, right? It is not life, and you're helping people understand that. Something that I heard today is like, so, and they were asking, oh gosh, who was it? It was a football player, and he was just like, how do you do it? How do you become successful? Like, and he's just like, you just have to have the will to do it. And I was like, as small as that is, it was so powerful. You just have to have the will to do it, right? And that was just kind of like what you were saying. You get up, you put your feet on the ground, you say, okay, what are my intentions for the day? What are my goals? What do I want to do with my life? You have a will to do it. And that's why you have this amazing, successful vehicle, Entrepreneur of the Year. I mean, you have all these accolades. Everyone's cheering you on. Like, that is why you are.
Dallas, please don't.
You are. You're good. So I kind of, and this may kind of, may have already answered this, but what do you think is one of the biggest false narratives that we continue to tell ourselves about success and achieving success?
A false narrative about success.
Something that we maybe tell ourselves.
Well, I think that there's so, like, we always hear, right? Comparison is the thief of all joy. One of my biggest things that I tell my team and I tell anyone that I talk to is like, you can see someone who is where you want to be, and you have two choices. You can either be intimidated by that or you can be inspired by it. And seeing someone else, maybe they started at the exact same time as you and they're going here and you're only here. Well, again, you can either feel really crappy about yourself and feeling that you're not good enough and blah, 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 and you're just going to halt your success, or you're going to be like, okay, she can do it, I can do it. I'm going to keep going where I'm going. I am on my own path, not realizing that she's here, you're here. You might one day come up, and it doesn't, and not that that matters, but there is just, I feel like there's so much false narrative around like, everyone should be on the same path, or everyone should be like going at the same speed, or that, oh, I'm 40 years old and I can't start a new business because, oh, well, nobody wants to hear from me. Nobody finds value in me. I guess one of the biggest false narratives is all the freaking negative self-talk. Like, it has to stop. It does absolutely nothing. It does nothing for you. And when you say it out loud, you're actually putting it on to someone else, and they are absorbing that. Like, so then that person is like, oh, well, she thinks that she's not good. Should I feel like that about me? Like, so I don't know if that really answers the question, but I feel like there's so much, there is nothing that moves the needle in anyone's life or anyone's business with all the negative self-talk that we have. And I feel like so much of it is comparison, and comparing can be good, right? Especially if you're a competitive person. I love a scoreboard. I played sports, always been in sales. I love a leaderboard. I love all of that. I love comparing, right? Because if you don't know where you're ranking, then how are you supposed to know how well you're doing, sort of thing. But there is just like there's an art to comparing, if that makes sense. And it can be either, if you don't find inspiration from comparing, then you need to you control what you consume. If you are on this live right now, you are controlling that you want to listen to this. If you
Mm-hmm.
follow someone on social media, for example, and they make you feel like crap about yourself, you have the power to not consume that. You don't have to consume these crappy TV shows. You don't have to consume what other people are saying to you. And anyway, I'm going in a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but I just think that the negativeness around everyone's
Mm-hmm.
talk can be a little bit more controlled if you you have like the willpower, I guess, to control it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, and you know, along with that is like controlling who you let speak into your life, controlling who you let inspire you, because you know, and I know with a lot with success, and I'm sure you've done the same thing. You know, mentors are a huge part of success, right?
Yeah.
Having that person show you the way, and that again is kind of where you've come into so many in my life and so many others, is that you're leading by example, right? So you know, people are allowing you and you're allowing other folks to speak into your life and give you direction on where you want to go and how you want to get there. Which kind of takes me to my next little quote here. I know we don't have too much longer here together. I feel like we could just talk forever. Is that you are literally one decision away, right, from changing your life forever. So it could be something good, it could be something tragic, it could be so many different things. But I think what a lot of people get stuck on is okay, I want to do something great, how do I figure out how to do it? They get stuck in that, like, how do I do this? And that whole self-doubt and all these, you know, thoughts and emotions. They don't know how to just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I know this is kind of a curveball for you, but what do you say to those folks who are just saying, okay, I want to do something. I'm on the verge of doing something great, I think, but I just don't know how to get to the next step.
Um, Such a good topic and such a good question. I think that there is so much power in action, right? Like there's so it when people say that, sorry, this question gets me fired up, but like when people say that they want to do something and that they're close to it, and maybe they don't have all the answers, who in God's name has all the answers to everything? Like someone I always think of the pool noodle guy, right? You know, the guy who invented the pool noodle, like, and is now a bajillionaire. Like, what a simple, easy idea. And I'm sure
Right.
other people had that idea. He just took
Mm-hmm.
action and created it first, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
the people who are like, oh, okay, well, I don't know how to sell anything on social media. I don't know how to do this. Nobody does. I don't know how. There's no textbook. There's no textbook for the great things in life. There's no textbook for parenting. There's no textbook for relationships. There's no textbook for sales. There's no textbook for like starting something that you really find a burning passion to do. There's no textbook for it. So what are you waiting for? Like, are you waiting for someone to tell you what to do? Because that's never, ever going to happen. If you want to follow someone's footsteps, sure. But the person's footsteps who you're following in, they just took action. They did it scared. They did it riskily. That's not a word. They did it without knowing what they were doing. And they're going to fail. You're going, not that you're going to fail. You're going to mess up. Something's not going to work. If you're in sales, I hate to break it to you, but like 70 to 80% of people say no. And that's okay. The 20 to 30% of yeses will change your life. But so many people are going to say no. And as long as you go in with that mental strength and that strong backbone, that like people are going to say no, but I have a burning passion and a burning why I am going to succeed in life. I don't care what it is. I will find a way to succeed because I've always had to. I've always been on my own and I always will. Like, and I feel that so, and that is, I don't say that cockily. That's also not a word. I say that humbly and knowing that about myself. Okay. So there's just so much to answer your question. There's what was the question? Am I even answering?
I know it was perfect. Honestly, I think I don't even remember exactly what I was saying, but yeah, it's just, you know, how to how to move forward when you're kind of stuck in that gray zone. But yeah, you completely answered it. Is just effing do it, right? You just got to do it. And you have to not be afraid to look dumb. You have to be, you can't be afraid of the learning curve. Like, and just like Alex Hormozy said today, he was just saying that you're not going to be good until you just start doing it. There is gonna be that time where you're gonna look silly. I mean, it's just part of it, right? It's the part of success. I'm sure you never looked silly just because you're so amazing, but I mean, that's just but it's part of it. And I think, you know, and you answered it beautifully. You got to do it. You got to stop, you know, waiting for things to just fall in your lap and just run straight for it. Right.
Yep. Full force,
Well,
full speed ahead. There's no half-assing in life. Like, there is just so much greatness in like this little percentage of what people chase. Like, there is all these people in the world. There's all this money to make. If you're motivated by money, if you're motivated by freedom, time, whatever it is out there for you. And like, this percentage of people chase it because they're scared, and they're taught to be scared. And I don't mean to bash corporate America, but you're put into this bubble that is like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to climb this ladder, blah, blah, blah. This is what you're supposed to do. Go chase this. There is so much life out there that only a small percentage of people chase, and they do it because they're scared. Or they don't do it because they're scared. Everyone who does it is scared, but some people just bulldoze through it. So.
I love it. Well, I know that our time is coming to an end, and you probably have 17 other Zooms and maybe to get onto. Last thought, last thing to leave with everyone. It's either A, what is the most powerful thing that you think you do to start your day or to end your day or to make your day successful, and what quote do you love to live by? Because I know you're a woman of many quotes. Which one could you?
I am a woman of many quotes. My brand, if you want to call it that, is don't be a dick, because I just have a full belief in not being a dick in the universe in any sort of way. It doesn't mean you don't have a backbone. It doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you, but it does mean don't be a dick. There's no point. I think I have two. I'll give two kind of things that I live by. One of my favorite quotes is, it's actually a proverb in the Bible, but it's iron sharpens iron. Okay. And that goes both ways. You know how they say, like, you're the sum of the five people that you hang out with the most? That is so true. And iron sharpens iron means that, like, as one person sharpens one, the other sharpens the other. That's like, check your circle. Check who you hang out with. And that means check who you consume. Check who you follow on Instagram, what kind of TV you're watching, what kind of books you read. Like, check and make sure that that is sharpening you in the way that you want to be sharpened. Because it also, iron sharpens iron works in a bad way too. If you're like, you will become those five people who you hang out with. You will start talking and mimicking and acting like the people who you consume. So make sure the people that you surround yourself with actually are people that you want to be. Are you inspired by those people? Do you want to be them? Or are you like those, when you leave being with your circle, are you like, hell yeah, like, I'm going to go crush some goals. I'm going to go be a better human being, be a better friend, whatever it is? Or are you like, wow, I felt so small? If you feel like that, get out of that circle. That circle is not your people. Like, trust me, I have been there. I have gotten up from a table and gone to the bathroom. I'm like, I bet those people are talking crap about me. And guess what? They were. And that's fine. They weren't my people. Find your people. Okay. And then, last quote is, you were given this mountain to show others that it can be moved. So when you are going through, I get chills when I hear that one. If you are going through something that is hard, that is tough, that is great. Okay. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, has given you that struggle because you can show others that it can be moved. So maybe this is your time, right? It can't rain all the time. There's no way that it can, but you are given this to show others and be the inspirational person to move that mountain. Go move it. It's going to be so hard. It's going to cause so many things in your life that go move it, because there's people that you don't even know. You don't even know their names. And they are going to be so inspired by watching you move that mountain. And I think about that all the time. Whenever I go through something rough, I am like, I have to do this for other people. There are other people watching me, and I'm going to move this freaking mountain because I want them to go move the mountains of their own.
Dude, you got me like tearing up, sweating, chills. Like I have so many things going on right now.
Me too, all the time. I'm like, am I hot? Crying? Am I emotional? Am I happy? Like, what is going on?
I have so many things going on right now. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to end it on that note. I feel like it might be like that's the best ending possible, but oh my God, that was powerful, Gretchen. Like, thank you so much. And I see so many people like have joined. I'm trying to see if I see any questions that were popped up there, but there's a million comments because there's so much love and support for you. I would say, is there anything else you want to add? But dang, like that was it. That was it. I'm like sweating and chills and like teary eyed. So you're incredible. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I think that like if I ended on anything is like I'm a big believer in also the say wow my hair what's up?
Mm.
It's like big sayer, whatever, of what is the point? Like if you are going through your life and you're just like haphazard it, half-assing it, you're like an okay friend, you're an okay whatever, you're not really chasing your dreams, you're just like kind of okay with your life, what is the point? Like you literally, if you actually think about life, like it's kind of creepy. You're only here once. Like what's the point in doing things half-ass, right? What's the point in like kind of jumping in? What's the point in caring what your Aunt Karen says behind her computer screen? Like what is the point of caring about that? Like it's your life. You have 90 years here. What's the point in not doing what you actually want to do? And if you want to be successful, then go take action, put your feet on the ground and get to work.
And it goes by so fast. I think that we don't even realize, how fast time goes until you're looking at a milestone back like 5, 10, 15 years ago and you're like, oh my gosh, like look how far I've come. That's something I was having to tell myself the other day. You have a day of like, I'm a total failure. You let those thoughts creep in and you're like, what am I doing with my life? And you're like, okay, hang on. Who was I 15 years ago? And you're like, all right, damn girl, you got this. Like you've come so far.
Yeah.
Self-talk, man. We could go on again. We have to do this again. Would you?
I would so do it again, of
Thank
course.
you so much. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cut it short, but I know you have a million other things to do. Thank you so much. Like really, truly, my heart, you're amazing. And everyone in here is like chills, crying. Oh my gosh, like this is exactly what I needed to hear. So this was meant to be.
Good. Well, thanks, Jess. I appreciate you. Thanks for inviting me.
I love you. Hope you have a great night, and we will talk again soon.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, girly. Bye, everybody.